Welcome back to the Sanctuary Updates. This is our first of the new year, and here I've got with us Stephanie Gandula from the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary.
Hello, how are you doing this morning, Kent?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
And today you wanted to talk to us a bit about climate change in the Great Lakes. And I suppose the first question is, how does it affect the Great Lakes? We all know that oceans get more heat energy, and that leads to stronger storms and disruption of weather patterns. But what does it mean on our freshwater seas?
Great questions, because sometimes it's easy to feel a little bit removed from our ocean that are hundreds and hundreds of miles away. However, it's a very similar effect. We're all connected. It's a global water system, of course, and with the Great Lakes having over 20% of the world's freshwater surface supply, we are an important part of that system. So the lakes have been warming as well, and it's quite a complex chain of events that happens when you have the warming systems, just like in the ocean, leads to acidification, and that happens in the Great Lakes as well. And so what we are excited here in the sanctuary about is facilitating research. And we've always done that, of course, focusing on researching shipwrecks, looking for them, of course, documenting them.
Yeah, we talked about that last month.
That's right. So we're really about shipwrecks. However, we're also about the entire ecosystem and encouraging scientists and students to understand and study and do scientific studies about what is happening due to climate change here in the Great Lakes.
Acidification and weather patterns, how are those affected? How does that affect wildlife? How does that affect the quality of our drinking water?
Well, what's really cool about that is that since I'm an archaeologist and can't answer directly those questions, we have the film festival that we've talked about before, which brings in a lot of scientific expertise to talk about these very issues. And we're seeing it across the board. Just you mentioned what's being affected: wildlife, farms, things on land and things in the water. And so as we see these effects increase, visually increase, particularly the weather patterns, we're really happy to be an important resource at the sanctuary, whether folks coming in to learn from our exhibits, which will happen again soon, and of course the film festival and our virtual programs, where we invite in NOAA scientists from all over the country to talk about these topics.
What kind of climate change research has been performed in our sanctuary?
So there has been definitely a number of studies throughout the years. What I'd like to talk about, though, is some of the ones coming up. So we're hoping to partner, we have a plan to partner with our NOAA office in Ann Arbor and Muskegon, which is the Great Lakes Environmental Research Laboratory. And there's scientists there that are studying acidification in particular in our Great Lakes, and how, simply put, our waters are becoming more acidic. And even though it's a minute scale, it still does have the opposite of, a pretty magnified effect on the system itself. And so we'll be working with our partners at the Great Lakes Environmental Research Lab to deploy monitoring systems, whether they're collecting samples of water, or whether it's putting these systems on actual buoys that are out there that stay out there 24/7. And so it's really about collecting data. So the next few years, partnering with different science entities, different scientists, to collect data and have a good baseline to study what's happening to our lakes.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you next week with another Sanctuary Update.